Every year strange things fall from the sky. The majority of the time these easily get explained. However, there's been various stories of strange objects falling to the ground and then quickly being covered up. This has only caused a variety of different theories to be put forward in order to explain what happened. One interesting event happened in Russia, in which a strange object was seen by residents making contact with the ground. Residents close to Chelyabinsk, where the object was seen hitting the ground, have said that meteors have often been seen in this region, but went on to say that this event was different. After the initial crash, various blacked-out helicopters could be seen flying around the region, while blacked-out trucks arrived with people dressed in black suits. The locals who witnessed the event said they've never seen anything like it before, and that this isn't normally seen when a random meteorite hits the ground. A few days after the event, photographs were published online, and various people said that days before the object made contact with the ground, they saw mysterious lights in the region, and said that the area was flooded with black helicopters, almost as if they were tracking and following the strange lights. One person noted that the lights in question looked like they were searching the area, and this caused some to say that the lights may have actually belonged to the military, and they were conducting tests in the area. However, other residents said the lights would quickly fly away when the helicopters would approach them. Others though went down a different route and suggested that the crash landing was actually a satellite, and that officials were flown in to take a look and assess the damage. Others said that a spy satellite was shot down, and that it may belong to the United States. As of right now, no one is sure about what the object was, and why so many government officials were seen in the region during this time. If this was a satellite or a meteorite, this doesn't explain the unidentified flying objects that were witnessed several days prior to the crash. One person said the following about the event. This is an interesting case, and one that many UFO researchers don't know about. What I find interesting about this case is the UFO link. Those who live in the area have said that mysterious lights could be seen prior to the crash, and that some of these lights even appear to change shape. I spoke to one woman who said she was observing a pyramid-shaped craft, and then it suddenly split off into 3 balls and then flew away. Many have reported seeing these strange balls of light that suddenly split off into smaller lines. I don't think we'll ever truly know what happened on that day." End quote. Theories are still being put forward for what happened. Though many reports of extraterrestrial craft have gone unreported in Russia, due to the tremendous amount of efforts made by the Soviet government of the past to dismiss and cover up extraterrestrial visitation, today it appears that the ex-Soviet country has become tremendously more transparent with its information regarding such sightings, as well as investigative measures. It has become apparent to ufologists and independent alien research groups that there has been a steep incline in UFO sightings in the city of Sochi located in Russia that has puzzled researchers due to the sheer number of sightings. Referred to as the M Triangle, an area of remote mountainous regions east of Moscow has been the center of an uneasing amount of UFO crafts that have either been reported as touching down or hovering above the area. Not only does the Russian government deny any activity in the region, but supposed witness accounts claim that the bright balls of light can move at dramatic speeds, and right angles that are seen as impossible maneuvers by modern-day aircrafts. These unexplained flashing lights have been reported as arriving in the region nearly every single night, with even some witnesses claiming to have come face to face with an extraterrestrial themselves. This has caused many UFO spotters and researchers to believe that perhaps the M Triangle is a special hub for aliens, and that this location may have a secret base, or be an area for first contact. Some of these lights have been observed by the locals travelling at extremely fast speeds, with them noting that they're faster than anything in the military. Eyewitnesses who live close to the region have said that seeing strange lights in the sky is a common occurrence, and in some cases these lights can be seen flying in and out of the nearby mountains. UFO researchers have said this is interesting as for years UFOs have been seen close to mountainous regions, which in turn has caused them to put forward different theories as to why these crafts are interested in mountains. Whatever the case may be, it's becoming overwhelmingly obvious that something dramatic has changed in the region. The M Triangle is very similar to the Bridgewater Triangle, which is located in the United States. One mysterious location that's said to be home to mysterious ancient creatures is that of the Bridgewater Triangle. This location is similar to that of the Bermuda Triangle, in which it seems that strange anomalous properties focus their events to encompass an area spanning roughly 200 square miles. This encompasses the majority of southeastern Massachusetts. The land itself is determined via referencing specific boundaries, such as the towns of Abington, Rehoboth and Freetown, that make up the 3 points of the triangle. This creates an area of land in between that seems to be a focused area of paranormal activity. These dense forested areas seem to hold a variety of different unexplainable sightings, along with terrifying encounters with monsters and supernatural entities. Men and women have reportedly encountered numerous different types of Sasquatches in the area, and seen large birds flying overhead that are commonly referred to as thunderbirds. Along with being a place that has a high number of cryptid reports. To this day there seems to be no real explanation as to the cause of the mass amount of sightings, disappearances or the strange nature of the dense forested areas in the region. Over the years a number of impossible to explain phenomena have been witnessed, from sightings of supernatural phenomena to unidentified flying objects to a number of strange lights and impossible to explain circumstances. It feels as if no story is too out there. Recently, various people in China have said that strange things are being sighted in the sky. Some photographs that sparked interest were captured by a dashcam. The images showed what appeared to be large crafts hovering in the sky, with the object being so big that people even stopped in the middle of the road to get a better look. Many quickly took out their phones so they could take images of the unidentified craft, saying that it was able to hover motionless in the sky. Passengers can be seen pointing at the UFO, with some eyewitnesses coming forward after the event and saying that people were saying it was a UFO. News stations caught wind of the event and even covered it, saying that whatever this object was caused everyone to leave their cars and look up. Allegedly, some of the eyewitnesses who were in the region during the time of the sighting said that this craft was seen across various cities, and that before it was photographed here many residents reported seeing strange lights during the night. After this UFO was photographed, many speculated that this craft may have been responsible for the strange lights that were seen. There's some though who have said there's a theme with many of these sightings, with skeptics saying that the majority of these images are blurry, and that you can't make out what the object is. Another person went on to say the following: "Nothing to see here. This is most likely a Chinese lantern or a police drone." End quote. With another person saying the following: "It's always amazed me how these images of UFOs are always so blurry. Why is it that with all the tech we have nowadays we can't capture a clear photograph of a UFO?" End quote. Many people have hit back these comments though, with one user saying the following: "The whole argument around why there's not clear photographs of UFOs is a frustrating one. Take your iPhone camera for example and put it on maximum zoom and see what happens. It immediately goes fuzzy. Then try and take a photograph of something in the distance. Now imagine you're in a car whilst this is happening. It's near impossible to get a clear photograph of anything under these circumstances." One of the things that many people don't seem to mention is that while camera quality in everyday phones has massively increased, they're only really good for up-close photographs. Anything that's over 5 meters away starts to get blurry. Also, the majority of people aren't expecting to see UFOs. so the whole encounter is rushed. People are normally doing everyday things and don't expect to see a UFO, so when it happens they just pull out their phones and try to take the best photo as possible. It's not like people can walk around 24/7 with a tripod and a HD camera waiting for UFOs." End quote. It seems the interest in UFOs have only increased in recent years. Various photographs and videos have made their way into the mainstream media, with government officials even coming forward and saying that they're investigating these crafts, and that some of them are in fact genuine. This has caused people to look into the subject with a more open mind. Interestingly, there's not many places where these unidentified flying objects haven't been recorded, and one place that's had its fair share of UFO reports is that of China. When UFOs are reported in China, however, it doesn't have much of an impact. It's usually debunked straight away and people seem to forget about it. A large amount of these crafts have been photographed from this region, and it seems that it's only when they reach social media that they have an impact, with people then asking what they are and where they came from. This is what happened back in 2018, when many residents noticed what appeared to be strange glowing lights in the sky above Beijing. Multiple residents saw these crafts and started to snap photographs. One eyewitness described the lights as looking like a cone, and that every so often it would give off bright colours. Others said that the lights would suddenly appear in the sky before mysteriously vanishing. Even though the strange event was witnessed by many people in the region, an explanation was not given for what was seen that night. One researcher, Yu Kim, reported that the object was high in the sky at the time it was seen, and that it definitely wasn't a satellite or any other man-made object. It's important to note as well that there were no rocket launches in the area at the time of the reports, leaving some to say that the only explanation that can be given is that this was in fact a genuine unidentified flying object. As of today, Chinese state media has given no official explanation about the strange-looking objects. It's also interesting to note that the area in which the objects were seen is highly restricted, so it's unlikely to have been a man-made aircraft. Others have also suggested that the object in question could have been the military testing out some new tech, but as some have pointed out, it's unlikely they would have done this over such a crowded space. Interestingly, similar looking objects have been seen in various countries across the world, causing some to put forward the idea that these objects don't belong to us. UFO researchers who live in China also say that many sightings get censored and doesn't end up reaching the masses, saying that there's a lot of UFO sightings that the general public doesn't know about. Non-believers have said the cause of the lights could be down to atmospheric conditions, suggesting that it could be similar to ball lightning or earthquake lights. Another idea was that it could have been a resident using something like a drone. However, this doesn't explain how the lights vanished and then reappeared. As of today, what was seen that night remains a mystery. The ancient world has fascinated us for years. There are many artifacts that have been discovered though that have caused us to question what they depict. One interesting artifact that's said to show advanced technology is that of the Babylonian cylinder seal. Theorists have said this seal is proof of advanced weaponry. It's important to note that skeptics and scientists have said this isn't what it depicts, but amateur researchers have said we can learn a lot about the past by looking at ancient texts. Those who've seen the seals have said it looks like a nuclear bomb and an explosion. Some have used examples like this to prove that ancient humans had advanced technology. As with the majority of these findings, they're up for debate. Believers have said this seal is similar to the ones found in Egypt, that allegedly show Egyptians using advanced technology. One user said the following: "Going back thousands of years ago, the only way humans could detail the past was in writings. Perhaps we shouldn't take everything so literal, but this seal does look like a bomb going off. It doesn't mean that's what's happening here, but it does certainly make for an interesting conversation." Across many civilizations we see similar looking depictions, and you can't help but wonder what they were trying to detail." End quote. As of right now, you have ancient theorists that believe this is evidence of humans destroying themselves, and saying that every 100,000 years or so civilization starts over, further saying that we've been looking at our ancient history wrong, and one of the reasons why ancient humans were able to achieve what they did is because they had the tech. Skeptics though say this isn't what's being depicted, and say that ancient theorists always take things too literal. One interesting civilization that's been at the center of many mysteries is that of the Sumerians. The ancient Sumerian civilization is regarded as perhaps one of the oldest civilizations of humanity, and could very well have been among one of the first. Despite their significance in history of civilization, not much is known about their civilizations and cultures in the modern day, with many of their artifacts and their ancient cities completely lost to time. Many of the oldest recovered documents and tablets in the world come from the ancient Sumerian accounts, which makes it not at all surprising that so many witness accounts exist from this time, that go into vast detail of the mythologies and religion of the ancient Sumerians. One most notable encounter in the modern day being their self-proclaimed encounter with the gods of their times. The ancient Sumerian gods were depicted as being large intelligent beings that looked similar to man but with the capability of flying through the skies on large metal dragons that would breathe out fire as they ascended. In fact, the name of these gods referred to as the Anunnaki, and their translation of the word quite literally means the people from the stars. This has led many modern-day UFO groups to suggest that these Anunnaki were nothing more than advanced extraterrestrial life that had made early contact with the human race and helped them evolve past their Stone Age evolution. Additionally, given the fact that the world's first civilizations are traced back to the ancient Sumerian civilization, this has provided more support for the theory that the advancements with the human race worked hand in hand with that of the encounters with these people from the stars. This has led many to wonder who or what the Anunnaki were, and any scriptures surrounding such beings to be studied religiously, in the hopes of uncovering more evidence for this ancient alien hypothesis and the development of the human race during this time. The DNA of the Sumerians. For the longest time, one of the biggest mysteries surrounding that of the ancient Sumerian people had nothing to do with its civilization, culture, or any one of its incredible levels of developments, but rather that of the genetic lineage of the people, their origin, and the discovery of any possible modern-day descendants that could be studied further to help us better understand that of the ancient Sumerian civilization and their people. Due to a number of different writings, there also appear to be numerous claims from ancient alien researchers that believe that the modern-day descendants of the ancient Sumerian civilization could help shed proof into that of the ancient alien theory of genetic manipulation with the help of the Anunnaki, the supposed gods that had come from the stars. Researchers believe that if the modern-day descendants could be found and their DNA could be tested, there would have been irrefutable proof that their DNA had been manipulated by their gods. In the event to promote the human evolution, and possibly provide answers for the ancestral missing link, leading many to spearhead this campaign in the hopes of gathering evidence of extraterrestrial intervention. However, the problem with this campaign is that the ancient Sumerian civilization was reportedly wiped out thousands of years ago, before the dawn of the ancient Babylonian society, leading many to believe that perhaps the people of the ancient Sumerian civilization had all perished. Luckily for humanity and researchers alike, a number of researchers finally tracked down a group of people in the modern day that are believed to hold the genetic code of the ancient Sumerian people. After archaeologists located the preserved body of an ancient Sumerian prophet that was believed to have survived a massive flood referred to as Noah, researchers were able to gather DNA from the teeth of the individual and use it to trace any modern-day descendants. This led to researchers uncovering the last known descendants of the ancient Sumerians in the modern day, and these were that of the Marsh Arabs, that lived secluded from the rest of the world in the marshlands of Arabia. When further testing was done, they proved to be a conclusive match to the ancient Sumerians, leading many to make strange connections with their modern-day society and that of the ancient Sumerian civilization. The most peculiar comparison was that the ancient Sumerians held the belief that the world had been destroyed by a massive flood, and that their people came from a family that had survived the catastrophe and had mastered the ability to live on the seas. Interestingly, the marsh Arabs appear to be master boatmen, as well as forming several houses and villages floating on the waters of the marshlands. So what do you make of these interesting ancient depictions? And do you think these texts show us events that played out in the past? Be sure to leave your questions and answers in the comment section below, and help us to grow this community while working to solve these unexplained mysteries. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to subscribe for more videos.